Hey, so today's practice is a gentle practice that's intended to release the structures of the middle of the back as well as releasing the hamstrings and the hips. So you'll want to have with you 2 blocks, a yoga strap, 1 or 2 blankets, and let's get started.
To begin, pop a blanket or pillow underneath your head and grab a yoga block and just place it on your abdomen, the sort of lower middle abdomen. And we'll just begin here with a couple, 3 or 5 big deep breaths. Just letting your body land and taking this opportunity to offer it respect and kindness. A big breath in. And long breath out. Notice if you're carrying any tension in your shoulders, your jaw, anywhere in the back body or even in the front line of the body. And then just encourage yourself to let the breath help you release that tension, stress. It gets trapped in our tissues. And so what we're doing here is we're encouraging it to just let go so that you can be present and here and available to not only those in your life, but to yourself. So we'll take another big breath, inhale. And exhale the breath all away. Really good. So we're going to remove the block and take a yoga strap with you. And we're going to flip onto the left side. You can move the blanket away if you like. And have both knees bending. And you're on the left side. And then you're going to take the yoga strap around the right sole of foot. Draw your left arm underneath you. And then bring your right toes towards your head. So you're really stretching, opening through the hamstring and the back of the right leg. Now, if that's a little too much too soon, you can bend the knee and then re-straighten and bend as you like and re-straighten. And you can even straighten out the bottom leg if that feels okay. So you're just working into the sensation of your own body and not pushing it where it doesn't want to go, but instead being really sensitive and kind to your own self. It's in short order these days, so really important to cultivate that within ourselves so that we can have that experience of being kind to ourselves. And also, for many of us, we then radiate that out so that others in our life get that message, even unconsciously, of kindness towards themselves. So we'll take 3 more big breaths here. Letting your muscles open in a really methodical way. And letting your bones sort of sink, your lower bones sink towards the floor. Now, from here, what we're going to do is bend that right knee in, put both feet into this strap, and then send them forward. So this is Jathara. It's a twisting Supta Padangusthasana 3. Normally, if it's just one leg, I'll say have it off the floor. But with both legs, your right foot actually is off the floor. And then you're going to reach both hands towards your feet. Drop your chin. Pull the abdomen in. Take a full breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to open the right arm up to the ceiling and behind you. So it's a deeper stretch for the muscles of the torso. You also will feel this potentially along the top of the hip, so gluteus medius a little bit. And we'll breathe with the right ribs moving to the right. So it's a twist, but it's also opening up the sides of the body. So here we go. Dropping the right shoulder. And then act like the right foot's trying to press its way further away from the left foot, as if the right foot was going to win the race. but they really won't be much difference in your leg lengths, but you're just trying to give a little emphasis. Pull the lower lumbars, the 5 vertebrae that are right above the sacrum, pull those forward. The lowest part of your back, the lumbar curve, you're pulling those towards the navel as you continue to twist to the right. One more breath. Exhale, you're going to close it up, reaching both hands towards your toes. And one more breath here, dropping the head. Inhale and exhale. Now we'll bend both knees and just flip over so you can lie onto your other side. So lie onto the right side, however you want to flip. And we'll take that left foot and then open it above us. And if your foot's out here, that's okay. If your foot's all the way over your head, I would just be mindful because we don't want to exploit our flexibility. We want to keep it in a range that will promote our overall health and integrity. So then once you feel like, all right, you got your leg going, the left leg's up in the air, you're pressing the left heel to the ceiling. Then if you want to extend the right leg out, you can. And feel that lengthening through the right underside of your body. Can you feel that? So yeah, the action's happening up here in the leg above you, but really, you're really opening up through the right side as well. So it's really good. And then just imagine the bones there just dropping towards the floor. Good. And breathing. Letting yourself relax into this. Really beautiful stretching. One more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bend that left knee in. Place both feet into the yoga strap and then send them forward away from you, but they can stay on the floor now. So we'll start as we did on the other side. You'll walk your hands towards your feet, drop your chin, then inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to open that left arm out to the left. Now the hand might not find the floor, it might, but we're not forcing anything, we're not pushing it. We're just allowing our body this really gentle moment of coming back home with breath. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, we're touching the seeds of peace internally. So we have that within us. So when things get fever pitched in our life or in the world, we know we can come back to our breath. So we're not hijacked by the thinking, the worrying, right? That can happen to all of us, but when we're practicing like this, we're really asking our mind and our body to work together to find peace internally. Now, as you're doing the same action as the other side, you're going to pull the lumbars in towards the front line of the body. Drop the top of the left hip a little bit down. Reach that left arm away and drop the left shoulder to the floor. Head can turn left. Breathing here. Three more big breaths, letting the breath in, letting the breath go, watching how the mind will try to pull you away, and so then we just bring it back. No biggie, bring it back. That's it, that's the game. One more breath, inhale, and exhale it all out. And from here, we're gonna bend both legs behind you. You can take the yoga strap behind you. So you're just moving into a beautiful lengthening for the upper back. So both knees are moving towards the bottom of the mat. Your arms are over your head. Squeeze your elbows in towards the sides of the body. And then walk your hands down the strap even a ½ inch more. Feel the length and openness through the front line of your body. So your legs are kind of relaxing, but you're really creating this beautiful opening for the mid-chest. Yes, good. Take 5 more breaths. And then release it really nice. Let the strap go. We're gonna flip onto our tummies here and come right into Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx pose, you're on the belly of the forearm, you're on your belly, your abdomen, and you're opening up through the side body. So the clavicle bone widens out to the side. Your toes point straight back. There's an engagement in your glutes, but it's not over engagement, it's engaged, but you still are pointing your big toes back. You're still getting heavy through the pinky toes, so that will keep your legs in neutral. And then drop your chest slightly to the floor and then peel it forward and then back it up. Open the palms, open through the finger bones, and take 5 more breaths here. Come up a little taller, last big breath. Really good. Exhale it out, but you're gonna pull yourself up into downward dog just for a touch of 1 breath, downward dog. Full breath in, long breath out. Then come back onto your knees and we're gonna take a blanket underneath the left knee and the right foot steps forward. And you're gonna draw back with the right leg. So the right leg goes into more of an angle, like as such. And you're reaching forward with the hips. And you can stay here on your hands, or you certainly can come down to the block or to the floor. Right foot is out on the right side, and then you're kind of coming up onto the outer right part of your right foot. Head drops. Breathe here. Let the right leg open out a little more to the right. Two more full breaths. And then walk your hands up. We'll take 1 block under each hand. So each hand is going underneath each shoulder. And you're going to stretch that right knee straighter. And it can be entirely straight or it can be slightly bent. And then peel forward with the left hip. Open through the chest. So this is Ardha Hanumanasana, and it's a beautiful stretch for the hamstring. Were we to go fully into the full Hanumanasana, then you get more of the hip flexor on the left side. But for right now, for today in this practice, we're just hitting up that the right hamstring, right calf, and then you can point your right toes down, and you'll feel the stretch to the top of the ankle. And then come bring it back to a flex, and we'll take another big breath here. And exhale the breath all out. We're going to come into a low lunge. So you're rolling over the back toes. Walk your blocks up. And then take your left hand either on the block on the inside at any height or the outside of your right foot. So inside or outside. I'm going to do the inside today. And then float the right arm up to the ceiling. So it's a more gentle twist. Take a peek at that right knee though. If it's moving out to the right, draw it into the midline so that you have this gorgeous symmetry for 3. Keep stretching open. 2. And 1. Both hands down, drop your back foot flat, coming into a beautiful Trikonasana. So a great stretch for the back of your upper hips. So what you can find here is that your back foot should be kind of pressing back, the back heel slightly back, and then the left arm is up. And you're breathing into it and feel how your shoulder blades are moving forward. But at the same time, the left arm reaches up a little bit more, and the right hand can stay on that block on the outside of the foot or the inside, depending on how your body feels today. It's a great stretch. You can notice how you can open up a little more in it. So even though we're not moving our feet or our limbs necessarily, staying in the pose allows you that green light to go, to feel, oh, I can press through my back foot a little bit, and then that opens more through the chest. So you're just listening and awareness for all of that. Take another big breath in and exhale it out. Bend into the right knee. We're going to come up into Prasarita Padottanasana with blocks. Toes point towards one another. Lengthen your chest forward, then bend the elbows and drop down. And breathe. And you can keep yourself up at your neck and back in line with the hips, or you can drop your head towards the floor. And we'll be here 5 more breaths. What I want you to really do here is push through the outer edges of your feet so that you ignite through the inner channels of your legs. So you get more out of each pose. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Really good. So we'll walk the blocks up. And we're going to keep that left foot going forward, but drop the right knee to the blanket. And again, here, same action. You're going to be walking your hands forward or onto your forearms. So you're doing this beautiful lunge, low lunge for the left inner thigh. You're also getting the right hip flexor. And so you're just allowing your body to healthfully and safely release and open. It's a great practice for relieving tension and fatigue and stress. Give yourself this chance to breathe with you. 5 more full breaths, sending your attention to wherever you feel the lengthening. Last one here, inhale. Stay for the exhale, really opening into the stretch. And then pressing yourself up onto your hands, bring the blocks in, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. So you're peeling back with the right hip, you're lengthening through the left leg. And I like to put my hands on blocks when I'm doing Ardha because it gives me a little more bandwidth to work with the sensation in the left hamstring and the left calf. And it's not too much pressure on the right knee. Yeah, so you really want to play with like what feels right. If you draw back with the top of the left hip, do you feel a little more pronounced in the stretch? And then go ahead and draw the toes down. And breathe there and feel that stretch through the top of the ankle. Because in yoga we do a lot of flexing, which is really important for the Achilles, but here we are dropping to straighten and lengthen through the top of the ankle. Important to have that range of motion and then drawing it back. Last 3 breaths. Engagement through that left quad is going to give you a little more stretch through the hamstring, left quadricep, thigh bone, thigh muscle. 1 more breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, walk your blocks forward. Bend into that left knee, coming into the low lunge. Roll over your back toes. Right knee is off of the floor. Hands can be at the tallest setting or any setting with the blocks.
And here it's your right hand. It's either on the inside or the outside of the left foot. And then you begin to lengthen forward and twist to the left. Twist and then open the left arm up just for 3 breaths. So really a lot of energy through the right thigh. Press through the right balls of foot. Lengthen out. 1 more breath. Inhale. And then exhale, both hands down on the block. Drop your back foot into triangle pose. And then float the right arm up. So it's a slightly shorter stance than your classic warrior 2. But the back foot looks like a warrior 2. And the front foot is always straightening forward. And then feel how the more you're in this pose, the more emphasis you give to that back outer edge of the back foot, the more you can really lengthen away. So the chest moves away from the top of the hips. That's part of what gives you that gorgeous length here. And breathe with it. Two more big breaths. You're really opening up through the side ribs. And then closing it up, we're coming into a high plank. You can always skip high to low, high plank, low plank, upward dog. Inhale, pause, lift the chest, and roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Full breath in and a long breath out. And then we're going to come into pigeon on the right side. So I'm going to do pigeon with the blanket underneath the right hip because it's a little elevated. Just for fun, to try something different. So you can explore that. Maybe you don't like pigeon with a block or a blanket. Explore what works for you. You want to have the right shin going more or less parallel to the top of the mat, and then both elbows down. You can be up on your hands if that feels better for you. Your back leg goes straight back. Almost think like upward dog in the back leg, where how the long toe, the big toe points straight back. There isn't really any engagement in the left glute, however, but there is a stretch through the right. So we'll breathe here for 10 breaths. And notice again how this pose as well opens up. Another full breath. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to lift it back up. You can swap over to the other side. Roll over your back toes. You can do a downward dog to do that. And then bring that left foot forward. If you're using the blanket, move it over so it supports that left hip. And then you drop in. So piriformis, one of those muscles that really will grip before it lets go. That's why we sit in this pose a little longer. There are reasons why we stay in poses a little longer. Sometimes they're different. And then get that right leg straight back behind you. Feel what that means for the left piriformis. It might intensify the stretch, and that's okay. Letting the head drop. Flexing the left toes. 3 more breath here. Lengthening the chest forward. There is a little rounding here, but see if you can take some of it out for these last couple of breaths. And then both hands down. Lift the chest up. And then sweep the back leg around to the front. You're going to stay seated on your blanket. And then you're going to lift up, keep the left leg kind of pinned underneath you. Lift that right leg up so that you're attaining a stretch through the back of the right leg, holding on to the strap and drawing the leg towards you. So I'm sitting still on the blanket, as you can see. It's a really nice way to allow yourself, your back to get strong and straight as you're releasing through that hamstring. Now for next level, you're going to hold on to the strap with your left hand, with your right hand, place it behind you, use it to press you forward and spin. So now you're getting lateral hamstring. Spin to the right for 5, 4, you can lift the leg higher if it feels good, 3, or maybe lower it to really get into the spine, 2, and 1, bend that right knee, good, and we'll just swap it over. So bring that right leg, bend it underneath you as if you were doing crisscross applesauce on the right side, and then with the left leg, hold on to the strap, lengthen the leg forward. So first we're just going to do that straight up hammy stretch. Leg doesn't have to be that high for you to feel the stretch. And breathe with it. Keep prizing the length of your spine. Take another full breath. And then take hold of the strap with your right hand on the right side of the left foot, left hand behind you, press forward and lengthen and spin to the left. Keep spinning, keep lengthening. Nice long straight spine. So when we twist, we want to twist with that straight spine. Straight spine, very important. Flex the toes, open them out for 3, 2, and 1. Bend the left knee, and let's come into Baddha Konasana, seated cobbler pose. Soles of the feet come together here, and then you've got your knees are going out to the sides, and you can pop things underneath them if you like. You can come off the blanket if you have a lot of space. If you feel like you don't have as much space or it's a little uneven, then you can stay on there. And flexing the toes away from one another, leaning the chest forward. And 3, 2 more big breaths. And 1. Really nicely done. Okay, so let's lie back down for Shavasana. You can have a blanket underneath your head or even underneath your shoulders, which is where I'm going to go today. You can also have a second blanket or pillow above your head. Bachi has taken my second blanket, so looks like it's just me on the floor. So if this is too much on your neck, you certainly can come out of it. I would keep your knees bent and your feet further away from your hips. But you want to listen to the low back and honor what it says. So if you get in this pose where you're laying over the blanket that's rolled up, you want your shoulders rolling off of the blanket. Now, if I had access to a second blanket right now, I would pop it underneath my head. I don't, so I'm going to take my arms out alongside me. I put a block under my head because that helps. Block under the head, no block under the head. Just allowing your body to rest.
if you have the blanket under your shoulder blades, you want your arms above the blanket, so the blanket's not creating a situation where you round your shoulders. They're actually opening. And then once you're in this for a few minutes, you might want to stretch your legs out. So feel how that feels for the low back. If the low back feels like that's a good stretch and that feels comfortable, then stay there. If the low back feels like it's just a little too much, then keep the knees bent. And then every breath, you're just settling your bones down a little bit more. And namaste. Thank you so much for your practice.